Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and we are back for F1 24 driver career mode for round number 18 of 24 here, ready for the Singapore Grand Prix. And we're back for some more career mode. I feel like it's been a minute since we've last uploaded a career mode video. Been busy doing some other things, aka league racing, so that, but also having some personal stuff get in the way and just not being able to get some videos out, which is kind of unfortunate, but again, life's been very busy. But speaking of that, let's get back on the career mode grind. I'm going to try to get out the rest of these videos real quick of Season 1 so we could get and focus on some other things before, because I do have a little bit of a video coming up that is kind of not a good thing, but you'll get the gist of it anyways when we get later. But yeah, let's get back to it. Anyways, in the driver standings, we are P10 within the driver standings, which we've still been there. I think after the last race in Baku, which actually, if you not check out that video, please go check that out below. That was a complete dumpster fire. Yeah, which is actually really weird because Baku is probably one of my stronger tracks on this game, but looks like just seemed like we couldn't get anything right, and it's unfortunate, but we bounced back. And around Singapore, probably one of my best tracks, I'd say, out of them all. So I feel like this will be a little bit more better for us, and that will be key. But anyways, we do have a regulation change. It looks like it's going to be, I believe, in the chassis and the durability. So, oh no, the engine, my bad. So durability and the engine. So we don't really have much engine. So, I mean, we could save all these. It's not really a big deal. And plus, if I'm debating on leaving Alpine at the end of the season, I feel like we just need to get rid of these points. But I would nerf Alpine, but I can't really do that, I guess you could say, because I don't want to carry any resource points over to Alpine. But speaking of that, it's time for quali. Under the lights here in Singapore for a thriller. Let's see what can happen within qualifying.
As night falls in Singapore, the track starts to warm up, and it'll be red hot by the time we find out who's on pole for tomorrow's race. Time to set the grid then. Welcome along to qualifying here in Singapore.
Welcome to qualifying. Ready under the lights here for a thriller. Like I said, Singapore is probably one of my stronger tracks. It's always been a stronger track for me in any of the games, but obviously first laps around Singapore with the new handling, well, not the new handling, but and with this car and this setup, it didn't feel quite that bad. This track can be a bit challenging with some track limits warnings, because some of these curbs can be pretty flat, and just there's a lot of places where you can easily go off. So yeah, hopefully the AI do not have the straight line speed advantage, because if they do, we're absolutely going to be in the mud. But we'll keep on going. So first lap here, Kevin Magnussen's a little bit in the way, but he is giving us a slight toe. He's punching the, he's creating a gap within the air, giving us a little bit of a slipstream, but he really needs to get out of the way this first sector here. He's still in the way, but then he finally gets out the way. Thank you, K-Mag, and we continue on through this part. Low speed struggling a little bit, and especially through that corner, but everywhere else we feel pretty strong. A little bit of understeer through that corner, but we keep on getting foot flat to the floor, heading into this fast part of the track. Do not hit a Russell and hit the outside wall. It's very, let's not do that. Touch the curb a little bit there. We could have taken a little bit, probably more curb on that inside, but you can easily offset the car. Tight braking zone, a little bit low speed. Tricky to get on the power there a little bit if you get on too early. Heading down this straight and then into this part of the track here. Absolutely, remember, no corners through here. It's just now completely straight. It's been since 23. No undercutting through the grandstand as we used to do. No more of that. We keep on going. Break into the 100-meter board. Touch the inside curb. Touch this inside curb. Take as much of the exit as you can. Get close to that wall as you can. This should be flat out through quali, and this is going to be flat out. Very wide. Looks like got a little bit beach there, but it is a 128.1. So 5/10 off Lando Norris, half a second. Norris with an absolute stonking of a lap. He has got some good in the first sector. And middle sector, we're losing a little bit of time, and then the third sector, we can actually keep up with them. So it's mainly the first sector and the middle sector that we're losing a lot of time. And we are ahead of Lance Stroll and Lewis Hamilton. So that is a opponent. So it shows kind of the signs of where the pace is. Pretty strong. It's not terrible, but as we keep on going later into this session, There is some rain predicted at the end of Q2 going into Q3, so that's always going to be a challenge. But here we go for another run here. And this is mainly just to see if we are going to get into Q2, because some of the quicker guys went out. I think we are safe into Q2. I don't see why we're not. But we're the last one to start our lap, and we're going to finish this lap as we're about a good 10th up there. We lost a little bit of time through the middle. So middle sector seems to be the struggle. Gasly now sitting P10, so we do have a teammate is up there, so it shows good sign that that it's there, and that we're not going to be a complete dumpster fire as we go later into this session. But braking here, and we're going to try to a little bit use more of that outside, but also don't want to bleed too much time. As we stand about a good 10th, almost 2/10 up on this lap here. We come across checkered flag. We are into Q2, and that lap should be P9. And oh no, we stayed the same, P11. So didn't improve too much. Only found 2/10. That was on a new set of tires, I believe. I don't think it was on a used set. I probably would have done better maybe on the used set. Maybe if we weren't going to improve, but yeah. P11. So Q3, it's going to be tight to get into Q3, but we're 2/10 up on Gasly. So that's always a strong leadership on a 5. Sargent, Magnussen, Sonoda, Zhou Guanyu, Nico Hülkenberg, those are the bottom 5. Bottas just sneaking in by a good 10th of a second there. So Q2 time, used set of tires for the first run, and then we go on to the new set. Always challenging to kind of get this right, because you never know what's going to happen through that part. And like I said, I mean, you can easily get a track limits warning there. But yeah, first run in Q1, Q2, sorry. Wasn't that great. We did not have much time in it, so we go again. And like I said, I mean, we kind of went out a little bit later. We probably could have waited till the end, but I think we want to set under the lap to see where we do stand. We're about 5 minutes left in this section, so this lap is absolutely going to count the most. We're 2/10 up now so far on this lap. Under the tunnel we go, and heading into this corner here. And like I said, very little bit challenging through that part, and then this part right here, this is where we're losing a lot of time, the middle sector. So it's really costing us a good time to get into Q3. And we'll try to find our best, but now 4/10, almost about 5/10 up on this lap. So I don't know where this is really going to stack us, but it's going to be very tight, almost 6/10, almost 7/10 up. We're trying to beat the rain basically, because we don't know when the rain is really going to come. They said towards the end of the session, so we do want to believe in that as much as we can. Flat out through here to see how much time we can find. We touched a little bit of the inside curb, but that's actually invalidated the lap. And we're actually out of qualifying because we're not going to get another run in. And that has absolutely just shafted our hopes to get into Q3. And we make a costly mistake, which we've done quite a lot this season. We've made a lot of mistakes. And that's absolutely ruined our race, basically. Because, well, we're starting P15 now. And that has been a shocker of a qualifying, where Q3 could have probably been on the cards, and we fumbled it. And like I said, probably one of my best tracks on this game, and we fumbled a bag. That really, really, really sucks. That really does suck. But yeah, that was a complete dumpster fire of a mess. And that unfortunately is what happens when you push too hard. You get those circumstances. Well, that sucks. Let's get ready for the race.
Marina Bay hosted a Grand Prix that briefly ran in the 60s and 70s, but the Garden City re-entered the calendar for good in 2008. We missed it for a couple of years, but it was great to come back to the Singapore Grand Prix. Things have changed slightly around the Marina Bay circuit, with 4 corners removed between turns 16 and 19. It means the lap length is now just over 3 miles, and that might come as a welcome relief to the drivers, and more especially their brakes. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, Fernando Alonso, Sainz, Perez, Russell, Hamilton, Gasly, Stroll, Albon, Bottas, Cowboy, Sonoda, Sargent, Magnussen, Zhou, Hülkenberg, and Daniel Ricciardo fills the last spot on the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. And alongside me in the commentary box today, former racing driver herself, Naomi Schiff. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, every driver certainly has their own way of preparing themselves before a race. But I can tell you that pre-race rituals are a real thing. When I was in go-karting, I used to touch every wheel in a specific sequence before I got into the kart. And then I stepped up to cars and had a specific set of fireproof base layers just for race day. So watch the drivers when they're on the grid. Some may be sitting on the floor and isolating, others may be up to other things that they do. But these little things really help their minds get ready for the race.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Thanks, Mark. We will try not to let you down. Welcome to the grid. 31 laps around the Marina Bay circuit. Definitely one of the more trickier tracks for all the drivers on this calendar because it is the hottest track, I feel like, next to Qatar because of the humidity. That's why it's raining at the night. But under the lights here for a fantastic thriller. Gasly did move up to P10. He was in the Q3 anyways, but we also moved up a little bit because of P14. So that is good, let's say that, but we still got a long way to go through this race, and we have a lot of, again, we're going to be fighting a lot more of the quicker cars, so it's going to be a little bit of a challenge here, but 31 laps around the Marina Bay circuit, always a challenge, always a thriller here, and it's flat to the floor. We go race here for the Marina Bay circuit. We actually don't get the best start. We get quite of a tricky start. We go down the inside of Valtteri Bottas in the Sauber. Bottas has absolutely just smacked our tire, and we actually get an illegal overtake. I don't know how that was illegal, probably because we cut the curb too much, and we now lost 4 positions already on lap 1. We're now down to P18 because they're almost P19 now, and Sargent and Tsunoda, they're side by side through this part of the circuit, which is making it a bit challenging. But now Hulkenberg is fighting this through all the way. Daniel Ricciardo also back there as well. He could be easily a threat for this position. We go down the inside of Kevin Magnussen. Or not Kevin Magnussen, Nico Hulkenberg, sorry. Hulkenberg can have the inside line here through here. Give him enough space on that exit. And we get around, well, we stay ahead basically. We defend from Nico. And now we have to chase after Sargent, Tsunoda, and all the other guys up there. And like I said, I mean, Bottas turning into us, that probably did not help us. Obviously, yes, he did have to turn in, but that was very aggressive by Valtteri. So it did make it a bit challenging, but we keep on going. And, well, we just have to try to find the most time, I guess you could say. But around the outside of Logan Sargent here, we get around the American, and we move up ahead, P17. So a move around the outside of Logan, that was actually pretty good. And we now have to follow Tsunoda and Magnussen through this part of the track. And like they said, they got rid of turn 16 and 19. We got a track limits warning. I don't know how that was track limits. I guess maybe, oh, you know what? Maybe the white line on the, okay, that makes sense. To say, it's really, I feel like it's quite tough to maybe get a track limits warning. I feel like the only opportunity to really get it is this part right here. Magnussen's in the pits. K-Mag has some sort of issue. Maybe he got some front wing damage from someone, so Magnussen's race absolutely been shafted. He desperately is going to need a safety car or a red flag. But lap 2 now, we follow Tsunoda through, and like I said, following through everybody in this dirty area, it does make it a bit challenging, let's just say, and you know, it's just still difficult to follow these cars and the understeer and everything else like that. But I'm feeling pretty good. Like, I don't have any issues with this car. I feel great and confident in this setup, and we're going to be aggressive here. We go on onto the attack as Yuki Tsunoda around the inside. That was a bit dirty. We touched the side pod of Yuki. That maybe or may not have gave him damage, but we get around Yuki. That was a little bit dirty by me, but we keep on going. Tsunoda, I think, probably just me a little bit too aggressive, and well, he paid the price. So sorry, Yuki, I didn't mean to do that to you, mate. But we keep on going. Lap 3 now approaching. Now next up, both the Kick Sauber duos, which they have been. I feel like we've had a lot of battles with the Kick Saubers this season. For some reason, you know, in real life they're like the worst car in the grid, but for some reason they absolutely got a rocket ship in this game. So how does that on this save? I don't know how that makes sense, but clearly Kick Sauber's on the rise. As I brought that team to life in 2023 Road to Glory Series. Just kidding. But anyways, back to attack mode. Zhou Guanyu and Bottas, they actually are getting DRS from, I believe that is Alex Albon. So once Albon's pace is going to drop off, there's going to be a massive gap within this midfield, because I feel like once you get around the Aston, that is kind of the start of the upper type of the upper fight, and we actually get another track limits warning for that one. That was actually going on through that corner, so we got to be very careful at this point now. And well, we do play a lot more conservative within the track limits. You can kind of get away with some areas, but running strict corner cutting for the first time in career mode is a bit challenging, and I have learned basically how to kind of cope with it. So the pressure is going to be high to not do it again, but through here, and we got first one there, and we got the last one in the last sector, so we got to be a little bit more cautious, I guess you could say, heading down into those next couple of corners. But lap 5 now approaching, and we are catching into this queue of the kick stoppers, and they're going to be DRS sharing basically. And Joe is harvesting a little bit of battery, so he's maybe saving for his defense. And well, I can totally agree with that, because Joe was going to be really under threat for me here once again. And the kick stopper doesn't have that good of straights, I will say that for sure. He really just doesn't have great straights, but if he gets he doesn't have great straight line speed, but if he gets that advantage over Valtteri, he's got the DRS, so that's actually going to help him out. He's actually getting a great run off Bottas, and that actually helped him out a lot. And obviously with the Ferrari engine in the back of that car, it does make it a little bit quicker on the straights, but they don't really have the best at the same time. So I think it's just the way that everything is going on, but having this fight through this midfield is absolutely brilliant. But we cannot get held up anymore, because, well, Lance Stroll, he's pulling that gap away from, like I said, Alex Albon, and Albon, he's in the back of that train with, I believe that is Hamilton and my teammate Gasly. So Gasly's having a decent race. He's going along pretty well, which is what I need. But here we go. On the attack now, Zhou Guanyu, he's got DRS, I got DRS. I'm dumping a little bit more overtake than he does. We're side by side. And now who's going to be the last on the brakes? Zhou Guanyu later on the brakes. But we go down the inside. We do run him out a little bit wide. I had the corner and I get around him. That was maybe a little bit too aggressive. Probably could have left him a little bit more space. Tough, hard racing against the AI, which they are pretty bad this year. But all that aside, Bottas is the next target on lap 7 of this race. We're now P14, Bottas in P13. This could be possibly an easy overtake on Valtteri Bottas. I don't see why we cannot get around him as we go. We got the speed. Bottas defends the inside. We're going to go around the outside here. Bottas a little bit later on the brakes than I am. We go around the outside. We get beached a little bit on the curb. Valtteri's still fighting this back. He's got the outside line. We give him the space. And they said we took way too much curb. That actually cost us time. And Valtteri stays ahead. So a great defense by Bottas. And he's holding on that position. But that did not help whatsoever as we want to chase after Albon. And, well, we'll have to go again. So we're back on attack. And we got to watch out for Zhou Guanyu. Tsunoda has now entered into this fray, mainly because of all that squelming that happened. So we keep on going. No DRS through here, which makes it a bit challenging, but we're going to be dumping some overtake here. Bottas going to have the inside line. We're going to go around the outside here, and it's still side by side. Who's going to be last on the brakes? We're last on the brakes this time, and we're going to get around Bottas, but now we got to turn from attack now into defense, because Bottas is going to have DRS through this part of the track and through the next part as we head through turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. So Bottas not close enough. He's in the DRS, but he's not going to get there. So we live to fight, but we have to kind of hold him off now at this point of the track. If we hold him off through here, I think we can pull a good second gap out of it. Oh, a little bit of a back end, loss of the back end, too much oversteer, and well, too much wheel spin cost us a little bit of time there. Tires don't really feel that bad. 70% on the right rear, 18% on that on the right front. So it is a bit challenging, let's just say that. But we defend from Bottas, and we now continue on to kind of close that gap down to Alex Albon, who is in that train, but he doesn't have the DRS from Stroll, so he doesn't have much of the pace to them, but he's within that range of, he's there. But again, Albon just having a fantastic race, and well, as he deserves one, because he's been probably, I don't know how he's been this season, well, in this save, but I feel like he's been somewhat competitive, and he has given us a little bit of problems here, which is not a bad thing, but it's just having a great race. Lance Stroll, though, I think Stroll is catchable. I think we could catch up to that queue. He is sitting P11, so we do kind of need a retirement from someone up in the front. Fernando Alonso, my man is doing something, because he's holding, look at that train that he's holding up. He's holding up that gap of the front, and I don't know if that is Carlos Sainz or Charles Leclerc, but they are loving life right now, because he's in the front, and then Kevin Magnussen just in the back there, just minding his own business, I guess you could say, because front wing damage did not help him. But this has been a fantastic race as Alonso pulling off the defense of God to stay ahead of, I don't know if that is Lando Norris or Oscar Piastri. If that is Lando Norris, this game is very realistic with first lap starts for Lando Norris. But here it is on lap 10. Alonso holding off, and actually, is that an issue for Alonso? That is an issue. He's got an engine issue. Fernando Alonso. Oh no, heartbreak for the Aston Martin driver as he is out of this Grand Prix on lap 10 with a engine issue. That has got to be heartbreak for Fernando, man. That has got to suck. As having a fantastic race, he was sitting P10, and wow, that was a lot of understeer through that part of the track. And he's out of this Grand Prix. That has got to suck, but that now has made points a little bit more catchable, let's just say, because if we can catch up to Stroll, that's all that matters. But Albon, I don't know if he's struggling on his tires, but he doesn't have that great a pace now at the moment. We've actually pulled away from the kick Saubers, which they are going to be in a train of themselves. Lewis Hamilton kind of holding off that second to last position. He's sitting P9, Gasly sitting P8. So Albon is next. I don't know if Albon is very slow. We're kind of managing our pace at the moment. We have a little bit more battery to use, which I will say I've been very conservative with the battery. I feel like a lot in this year's game because I don't like to burn too much, but we're going to be burning a little bit more overtake here, and we do have to kind of drain a lot of ERS, which I'm more of a conservative guy. I've always been more conservative, but I've been trying to be more, let's say, more attack, trying to be more aggressive, I guess you could say, as I kind of wanted to get that out because I don't know, but my commentary has been pretty awful today. I'm definitely going to need some sort of coffee in me because a little bit shaking off the rust of bad commentary. But back again, lap 14, we got DRS off Alex Albon. We're going to get the DRS. Albon will probably, I think he's got that straight line speed. He's got that straight line speed within the Williams. Like I said, the Williams is also quick in the straight line, so it makes it really good for Alex to kind of defend from us. But I feel like I do really desperately need to attack here as we actually made a slight edit. We edited lap 13 with lap 14, unless that was lap 12. That was my mistake. We'll just continue on, I guess you could say, on this lap and see what can happen. But, yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, the pace feels good. I don't really have an issue with the pace. I mean, we're just kind of catching up to that queue, and I mean, if we could just keep this going, I think we're going to be a great shot for points, let's just say that. And as we keep on going, like I said, I mean, now we're back on lap 14. That was my mistake on the editing. I apologize on that. It's too late to kind of get that buffer out with the live commentary, so I apologize on that. But we're back, and it's kind of rare since I do one of those, but that's really sucks. And got to peep the phone real quick, and we're back. A little bit of a pause there. Probably just had to send a quick message. Who really knows what happens? But Albon, like I said, the defense, he's holding us off. Again, that obviously he's got some pretty good. He's got a pretty rapid car within the straight. He could be running less downforce too. I don't really know his setup. I don't even know if the AI even runs setup. I don't think they do. I think it's just they just run default setup. And yeah, I mean we do have a high downforce type setup. I think it's high downforce. I'm not really 100% sure, but this track, you do really need some downforce in some corners because you just need it. But on the attack now on Alex Albon, we're burning all the ERS. We go around the outside of Alex Albon. Albon a little bit later on the. I'm a little bit later on the brakes, but he defends the inside line. We get around him easy peasy, and we move up. So great attack from us and a lot of wheel spin now. So the tires are definitely dying through this part of the stage, but we are going to come into the box this lap. And that should worthy be a penalty because we completely misjudged it. Very slow pit entry, but we get on the marks. I kind of tested that at practice because I do kind of always test my pit speed entry before I go in. And it was a bit, I forgot how slow it is on the pits here when you come in. But good stuff from the boys, and we're going to get ahead of the Saubers. I didn't want to get held up by the Saubers, but Albon's now getting held up. So that helped us out a lot. And tricky pit exit, let's just say that for sure. You don't want to go over the white line. That could easily be a penalty. I feel like they do give you penalties. But but we get out the pit exit just fine, and now we can basically push to the end. I ran the hards in practice. I did about like 10 laps, maybe 5 laps for race strategy wise, and they feel phenomenal. So hard tires, push to the end. We always relatively like to push a lot towards the end, but if we really want points, we do need to capitalize on points, and Lance Stroll is holding off to that last points position, and we are in a tight battle with Aston Martin in this championship. It is a very tight battle between Alpine and Aston Martin. So Fernando Alonso leaving Alpine for Aston Martin, and now we're getting the revenge back, as jokingly in this career mode. So we keep on going. We are sitting P11 now, and 3 seconds, almost 4 seconds is the gap to Lance Stroll. I do think we can get him, but Gasly is sitting P9. So if Gasly can sit there, at least we get some points on the board. But we're going to be pushing like hell. We pulled about two tenths this lap on him, so we're pulling roughly about 2 tenths, and it is going to be close as we approach 10 laps to go. This is going to be an absolute thriller of a finish as we continue on. This is going to hang tight, because this is going to get absolutely chaotic here. It is 2 Alpines versus 1 Aston Martin. With Alonso going out, that could have been big points for Aston. Aston have been having a lot of ERS issues lately, and it's not really helping them. But we've now pulled a good second now out of Stroll. 24 now. That gap is slowly going down as we are catching him slowly, and he's basically in our. We can basically reach out and grab his rear wing at this point. He is there, and I don't know if his pace is not that strong. I don't feel like it is. I mean, Aston, they had a decent car around here, but they clearly are really struggling. Now we're all over the back of Lance Stroll, and we are within this time. Purple sector 3. I thought that could have maybe been fastest lap. That's how hard we've been pushing. We used a lot of battery this time. Gasly 3 seconds off the road. So Lance Stroll, he is the target. We got to get around him here, but again, he defends perfectly, and he's pulling away. Like I said, that middle sector is where he's pulling that gap. We're not strong in the middle sector. We're really struggling through there. And like I said, low speed seems to be a bit of a challenge too for us. We're not really that competitive within the low speed, but Stroll, he's able to hold off in the middle sector, which the middle sector is pretty difficult to follow the cars through. But again, I mean, when he holds off, it's phenomenal. But as we get out of sector 2, once we approach sector 3, we're a lot more stronger. I feel like the first and third sector were strong. Middle sector, we really bleed a lot of time. Lap 29 now. Gasly has an issue, or some sort of issue. His pace has fallen off like a rock, and that is not helping him whatsoever. And P9 with it is in grab. So Gasly could lose out of points here, but we need to be the team player here if we kind of want to get both points. And if he has an issue, if he can hold off Stroll and I could back him up and he gets DRS off me and Stroll doesn't get close, I feel like that could help us out a lot. But I don't know the issue. We keep on going. I did hear he did have an issue, but Gasly, yeah, he has an issue now. He's not really that strong in this middle sector. Stroll over the back of him. We're all over the back of him. I want points. It's tight for basically 2 points. This is basically all worth for 2 points, but any points to catch up to Aston is important, and we need to capitalize on Aston as much as we can. But through here, remember, no DRS through here, but you can get a pretty good run if you get a good exit. But Stroll didn't really get the best of exit, but Gasly, yeah, he's really slow on the straights. He has some sort of issue now. I don't know if it's an engine issue or what, but he is really, really, really struggling through that part. And we keep on going. And next up, Lance Stroll. We're going to be all over the back of Stroll and Gasly here. Stroll's going to get DRS. We're going to get DRS. It's going to be a tight battle with 2 laps to go. There, Stroll goes on the inside of Pierre Gasly. We go around the outside. Double overtake into turn 1. Yes, that is a double overtake. Gasly, I think Gasly just turned into Lance Stroll for no reason. Gasly committing terrorism on Lance Stroll. Let's take a look. I think Gasly just turned in on him completely. He did. Look at that. Gasly being the team player by taking out Lance Stroll, giving him damage. So Lance Stroll, you have just been Alpined. You are an Alpine sandwich, and you have absolutely just been taken out by Pierre Gasly. Pierre Gasly has a hatred for Canadians, clearly. And well, through this part now, we're back on the on the defense. We're back on the defense, but we're actually going to be helping out Gasly here a little bit. He's got an issue, and we're going to give him the DRS here. I want him to stay close. I do not want him to pass me because, well, I'm a little bit jealous and I want 2 points more than him, but we're giving him the DRS, and that's actually helping him stay ahead of Stroll, because if we don't give him DRS here, guess what? He's just going to be completely screwed. So we are playing the team player here, but Stroll is going to put all sorts of pressures. We head to the last lap of this Grand Prix. He is going to be putting all sorts of pressure on on Lance Stroll. I mean, Gasly is going to be, Gasly would be screwed here, but he's holding off perfectly, and it's giving him that DRS, but we're going to have him stay close through this part of this track here. But we rewind in time. Verstappen wins in Singapore. He's going to win, and he extends that championship lead more and more as we go. Charles Leclerc, I believe, comes home in P2 for Scuderia Ferrari, and P3, that is Lando Norris. I don't believe that is Oscar Piastri. There is Oscar Piastri now coming on P5 with a tight battle. And what a drive we did from P14 up to P9. Gasly holds off Stroll. We're going to get 2 points here. Double points for Alpine. I feel like it's been a mess since we scored points. That is a W in my book.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
And in the end, there was no Verstappen. Max Verstappen, he takes victory.
Wow, 4 wins in a row. I mean, I do say wow, but I'm not that surprised because it is the 4th one in a row. Maybe this is getting a little too predictable. Come on, competitors, step it up.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sports that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
There is your winner. Max Verstappen wins the Singapore Grand Prix ahead of Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris. So Verstappen extends that championship lead even more. He could clinch this championship, I believe, maybe next race in Austin or Mexico. So that gap is just going away. It's just going away, and that's helping him out a lot in this championship. But bit of rivals in Norris and Verstappen in the championship fight in real life. Clearly in the game, Verstappen is having a cakewalk of a season, so congrats to him. From my side, I'm very happy. P9 from P14 to P9. Thank you very much. That was pretty good. That was really good. I'm happy with that. Obviously it was a bit of a challenge. Let's just say that for sure, because everything is, it was a tough race to begin with, but we held off perfectly. 2 points, and playing the team game, helping out Gasly, really helped him out a lot, I feel like, because, with his, with the issue that he was facing, probably didn't help him out a lot, and that issue, like I said, Gasly's been I felt so bad for him. He's had some shockers really bad shockers, and I really just feel bad for him, let's just say that. But we extend the gap a little bit within the championship, and that did help us out a lot there. But as we go later into the season, it's gonna be tight. We don't really gain much within the drivers championship, so doesn't really help too much. We're sitting P10. We're out the championship fight at this point, unless we pull a miraculous stunt, but I doubt it. But as we approach Austin, we're heading back to the U.S. We basically head back to the America side for the next 4 rounds, but we have to try to see what we could do there. 3 sprints left within the season. Let's go capitalize. But thank you all for watching this video. Appreciate everybody that's been supporting this channel. I love you all. Have a good rest of your day. Have a good rest of your weekend, and I will see y'all in Austin. Howdy, partner.